What began as a single slip turned into a rhythm. His guilt faded, but my pain only grew louder. I never imagined that one moment of weakness would unravel the life I had so carefully built. When I met Jason Monroe in college, he was charming, respectful, and passionate. We bonded over shared dreams, late-night study sessions, and the belief that love could overcome anything. We got married 5 years after graduation, in a small garden ceremony with our closest friends and family. Our future looked bright. I had started my photography business, and Jason was working as a marketing director at a growing tech firm. We had an apartment in the city and spent weekends exploring new places, sipping overpriced coffee, and laughing about the small things. But life has a way of testing you when you least expect it. Started with long hours. Jason came home late, claiming deadlines and meetings that ran over. I trusted him. I had no reason not to. I was often busy too, editing photos, booking clients, and managing our shared life. Then came the missed calls, the half-hearted conversations, the way his eyes would drift to his phone when I spoke. Something was changing. I felt it in the silence between us. It was a Thursday when I found the first clue. I was doing laundry, something he usually handled, when I noticed a receipt from a fancy restaurant we'd never been to together. 2 meals, 2 glasses of wine. A date stamped on a night he'd told me he worked late. I remember sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at that receipt, willing it to make sense. Maybe it was with a client. Maybe he went out with coworkers. I wanted to believe that. I needed to believe that. But then came the perfume on his collar, a scent I didn't wear. The way he suddenly guarded his phone. The shower he took the moment he walked in the door. Every instinct in me screamed that something was wrong, but I buried it. I didn't confront him, not right away. I told myself I was overthinking. That marriages go through phases. That maybe I was being paranoid. So I started documenting. Keeping track. Messages. I needed to be sure. When I finally brought it up, Jason didn't even deny it. He just sat there, eyes low, and said, "It wasn't supposed to happen." His voice cracked, and he looked ashamed. For a second I thought he might fall apart right there in front of me. He told me her name was Lindsay. She worked in accounting. It had started after a company retreat. One night turned into 2. Then it became weekly. He claimed he didn't mean to hurt me, that he never stopped loving me. But his actions betrayed those words. We cried. We yelled. We sat in silence for hours. He swore it would stop. He begged for forgiveness. I didn't know what to do. I was devastated. My world felt upside down. But I didn't leave. Not immediately. I told myself we could fix this. We could go to therapy, rebuild trust, start fresh. For the next month, Jason seemed like a changed man. He was attentive. He canceled late nights. He left his phone on the counter. I wanted to believe the nightmare was over. But it wasn't. Because it hadn't ended. Found messages. Not even hidden well. Flirty texts, plans to meet. It wasn't just a slip. It was a rhythm. A pattern he couldn't or wouldn't break. I confronted him again, and this time there were no tears. No guilt. Just excuses. He said he felt alive with her. That things had become too routine with me. That he didn't want to hurt me, but he didn't want to stop either. And in that moment something broke inside me. Not because of what he said, but because I realized I was no longer enough for him. I moved into the guest room. We lived like roommates, barely speaking. He continued to see her, shamelessly. My pain grew louder every day. I cried in the shower so he wouldn't hear. I buried myself in work, in friends, in anything that could distract me. But the truth was, I felt like a failure. I had fought for us. I had forgiven him. And he had thrown it all away. People around us started to notice. My sister Emma asked if everything was okay. Delight. My best friend Naomi offered her couch. I said I was fine. But I wasn't. I was falling apart. I started seeing a therapist, hoping to find some clarity. She asked me one question that changed everything. Why are you holding on to someone who already let go? That question haunted me. I realized I was clinging to memories, to a version of Jason that no longer existed. The man who once held my hand and promised forever was gone. In his place was someone who had chosen someone else, again and again. The day I packed my things was both heartbreaking and liberating. Jason barely looked up from his laptop. There were no protests, no pleas. Just a nod and a quiet, "Take care." That was it. Years of love, laughter, plans ended with 2 words. I moved into a small loft across town. It wasn't much, but it was mine. The first night I sat on the floor surrounded by boxes, eating takeout, and for the first time in a long time I breathed. Really breathed. Cried too. I grieved the marriage, the man, the future we had imagined. But in that space I also started to heal. Healing wasn't linear. Some days I missed him. Some days I hated him. But each day I got stronger. I found joy in small things. A sunrise photo shoot, a new coffee shop, an evening walk. I started journaling, pouring my pain onto paper, transforming it into something I could understand. I connected with others who had gone through betrayal, and in their stories I found pieces of myself. Jason reached out once about 6 months later. Just a text. "I'm sorry for everything." I stared at the screen, heart racing. But I didn't respond. What was there left to say? He had made his choices. I had made mine. And mine led me toward peace. A year passed. I had rebuilt my business, made new friends, even started dating again. Slowly, cautiously. I didn't rush. I had learned that love isn't just about passion or promises. It's about actions, consistency, and mutual respect. I met someone named Aaron. Kind, patient, curious. He listened. He showed up. He knew about my past, and he never made me feel broken. One day we walked past the restaurant on the receipt that started it all. Pause. My heart didn't ache the way it once did. I remembered, but I didn't relive. That pain no longer defined me. It had shaped me, yes, but it didn't own me. What began as a single slip had turned into a rhythm that almost drowned me. But I rose. His guilt may have faded, but my pain forced me to grow. Find my voice. Choose myself. And now, every beat of my heart sings louder, not with pain but with strength, with hope, with the belief that even after betrayal, healing is possible, and so is love.